Night fell over Rome, the city's streets slick with rain and neon reflections. In a high-rise penthouse, Don Marco Bellini, the most feared mafia king in central Italy, examined maps and ledgers. Age 44, cold eyes, hands that had signed death warrants as casually as business contracts. His empire thrived on fear, loyalty, and precise brutality. Tonight a new challenge emerged, a woman who dared defy him. Her name, Valentina Ricci. She was known for her fiery temper, sharp mind, and unyielding independence. She had insulted Marco publicly at a social gala, mocking his influence. Such audacity intrigued him, though he would never admit it. Valentina had no idea of the empire's reach or the danger surrounding her. She thought herself untouchable, clever, confident, and unaware of the predator she had provoked. Marco ordered discreet surveillance, curious about her daily routines, habits, and character. Valentina noticed nothing at first, going about her life with confidence. A car followed her, unnoticed, unremarkable, until she caught a reflection in a shop window. Her pulse quickened, yet she maintained composure, unaware it was Marco's intervention, not a threat. She challenged authority everywhere she went, unknowingly testing Marco's patience and fascination. One evening a minor threat arose. A rival gang attempted to kidnap her. Marco's men intervened silently, neutralizing the attackers without her realizing. Valentina's curiosity about the shadows following her grew, though she suspected nothing of the mafia's involvement. At a later gala, Marco finally approached her, calm, commanding, and cold. "You have been reckless," he said, voice low, almost a growl. Valentina laughed nervously. "And you are?" "I am the one who decides who lives and who doesn't." Her eyes narrowed, defiance flickering. "Then you must have a busy night." He smiled faintly, intrigued by her fearless audacity. Over the following days their encounters became games of wit and challenge. Valentina's disdain only fueled Marco's curiosity and interest. She was smart, daring, and entirely unpredictable, traits he had never tolerated, yet could not resist. Rival factions planned to exploit her, seeing her boldness as a weakness. Marco anticipated every move, protecting her without revealing the truth of his intervention. She survived every threat, unknowingly guided by the hands of the man she openly hated. Nightly walks across the villa gardens became lessons in observation, strategy, and silent tension. She remained defiant, yet her awareness of unseen protection grew subconsciously. Marco admired her resilience, the courage in her eyes, and the fire in her spirit. One evening, an attempted abduction escalated into a violent confrontation. Valentina acted instinctively, her quick thinking saving several lives. Marco observed silently, impressed. She was not only brave, but cunning. Afterward, rain poured over the villa as they stood in tense silence, acknowledging a mutual respect neither would voice. Rival gangs realized she was untouchable, guarded by unseen forces, and her reputation grew. Marco began to see her as more than a challenge. She was a force, a spark, a mind that could match his own. Valentina remained unaware of the full truth, her hatred mixing with unspoken fascination. They became locked in a dangerous dance of defiance, strategy, and growing tension. Each encounter sharpened their understanding of one another, trust and resentment entwined. By dawn, the city lay quiet below, unaware that two powerful minds had begun shaping a new, dangerous equilibrium. Part 1 closes. Valentina Ricci had survived, defied, and unknowingly captivated the Mafia king who ruled Rome with fear. A dangerous beginning to a story of hatred, fascination, and inevitable attraction. Morning sunlight spilled over the rooftops of Rome, the streets below unaware of the tension brewing above. Valentina stirred, recalling the night's dangers and the strange protection she could not explain. Marco observed her quietly from a distance, his presence felt but unseen, calculating her every move. She walked through the villa's corridors, confident yet alert, aware that danger lurked beyond every door. A rival faction attempted a calculated strike, aiming to exploit her boldness and lure Marco into a trap. Valentina noticed subtle anomalies, misdirected footsteps, faint shadows, and adapted instantly. Marco watched her skillfully dismantle the threat, silently approving her instincts. She was no longer naive. She had grown into someone who could survive, even thrive, in his dangerous world. Rival gangs tried again, escalating their plans. Yet every attempt failed under her quick thinking and Marco's unseen guidance. One evening, Marco approached her openly for the first time in weeks, eyes dark and unreadable. "You've changed," he said, voice low, commanding. Valentina's eyes narrowed. "And you still think you can scare me?" He smiled faintly, a mixture of respect and intrigue. "I never tried to scare you, only to survive you." Their exchanges became games of strategy, subtle moves and counter-moves, trust and defiance intertwined. A major threat emerged, a coordinated attack on both Valentina and Marco's inner circle. She acted without hesitation, saving several loyal lieutenants and neutralizing attackers with surprising skill. Marco finally intervened directly. Together they turned the tables on the enemy, a perfect demonstration of their combined power. The villa, once a place of tension, now pulsed with a new energy, respect, collaboration, and unspoken connection. Valentina began to understand the Empire's operations, influencing decisions with clever insight and calculated risk. Rival factions realized she was untouchable, a woman who could survive and even shape the Mafia's strategies. Marco found himself relying on her judgment, admiration growing alongside an unexpected attraction he could not deny. Night fell, rain drumming softly on the villa's roof, shadows stretching across the courtyard. Valentina and Marco moved silently through the estate, responding to threats with a synchronized precision born of growing trust. She no longer feared him. She respected him, even challenged him intelligently. Marco's fascination deepened, the hatred they once shared transforming into something far more complex and dangerous. Rival gangs planned one final assault, aiming to separate them and seize control of the Empire. Together they anticipated every move, countered every trap, their unity becoming a lethal weapon. Valentina's intelligence, courage, and quick thinking prevented disaster repeatedly, proving her indispensable. The Empire began to evolve around them, guided by their combined strength and vision. Marco's hand brushed hers once, a silent acknowledgment of partnership and growing trust. They faced danger together, surviving and thriving in a world built on fear and loyalty. Valentina realized fully that she was no longer just surviving. She was shaping the Empire's future alongside the man she once hated. The city slept below, oblivious to the quiet revolution occurring within the villa walls. Sunlight crept across the city, illuminating two figures bound by danger, strategy, and a growing, undeniable connection. Part 2 closes. Valentina Ricci had transformed from a woman who hated the Mafia king into a powerful partner, surviving, thriving, and changing the man who once ruled Rome with fear, a queen in her own right within the empire. If you enjoyed this cinematic Mafia saga, Like, comment on the moment that shocked you most, and subscribe for more dark Mafia love stories. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next epic betrayal or forbidden romance.